Hello, guys. Thank you for being with me again. My name is Harold, and this is the War Philosopher channel. Let's dive right away into it. So, let's continue our conversation on accountability, building on current events from Mr. Dushoyinch, Mr. Fauci himself, to then the lady who killed her three children and the outrage behind it. And we've been discussing this as a symptom of lack of accountability and how this is the final touches of a civilization, of a culture that is gone. It's gone, guys. It's soft, it's liberal, it's weak. So the position that I take in this channel when I talk to you guys is the position of sovereignty. And what is sovereignty? Literally not a slave. You're in control. You are your sole authority figure. You are responsible for yourself and your actions. Now, looking at what does that mean in the framework of what I'm talking about? The belief in these external authorities, be it how I said Fauci, the medical system, or pharmakia itself, the belief in the doctors can just provide health. Now that you as an individual are responsible for maintaining your health through habits like eating well, exercise, and good humors. Health is very simple. Health is a very simple thing. But the people who believe in external authority, for example, they have the magic pill mindset where I'm gonna eat shit, I'm going to have promiscuous sex, I'm gonna do whatever it is that I could just take a quick pill and the consequences of poop and it's magic and it's new. It's an extremely childish mindset, and only someone who believes in external authority can even entertain that. That shows you the lack of agency that most people have, and that is the point. That is the point of the system, of all these systems, creating people to lack agency, to think that for themselves, to be able to act for themselves, for the most minuscule things, man. For the most minuscule things, be it from like teaching children to eating, to charity, to, like I said, your own health. So again, sovereignty. What is it? Or right here, or linking a sovereignty directly to authority. And authority, the sample that I have coins. The sample I like to use, no coins, is authority is like a coin. Is two-wheeled. It has two sides. One side is of control, and the other side is of responsibility. So yeah, you're in control. You do whatever you need to do, whatever you want to do. But you are the first. You're going to suffer the consequences of that. If it's good, that's where pride comes in. Good pride, that you're proud of the good actions you take and the benefits of. But when shame comes in, because you've done the wrong. And put it into simple terms. We know the difference between right and wrong. You just go into Genesis. What is the original sin? Man now knows the difference between right and wrong. So we now have to choose. That is the burden of consciousness. Again, the burden of authority and responsibility. So when you're a person in authority and responsibility of others, you're the first one that's going to receive the blame. And you're the last person to take credit. And I mean that if you're leading a team, when the team messes up, the leader is the one at fault. When the team does well, the leader brought him through, but it is the team performance. I mean, you're the last one, the person in authority is the last one to take credit. So we have the inversion of authority, this fake world where everything is upside down. The ultimate inversion. Ayn Rand really went into that topic. The great inversion, where men, where people who produce, who create, who do, have to go bend the knee and ask permission from people who do or create nothing. It's the ultimate inversion. And we have, again, the people who have no responsibility at all. but they have all the authority. And when the problem comes, again, I'm not responsible. Going into the more contemporary case, I'm going to say I don't even know. It's like you have to. It's like detonating a bomb, because you know you can't talk about it like that, but you have to, because that's practicing. That's the whole glow up. You don't say it. Deletion and da da da. It's like, no, you have a psychopath person who killed her children. Not one, not two, three of them. You know, one of them survived the strangulation, by the way, and died later. This was pre-planned and everything. And again, you have the psychopath people who come in. I support you. These are the people of the culture of lack of accountability. That's why I said in the previous video, they're the same exact people who promoted the vax. They're the people, go further back in time, the pussy hat thing. They are, you know, there's a left-right psyop. These people are more in the left spectrum of the control bracket. The boomer is the same fucking thing. The people who are hardcore Trumpers, the Israel is everything to them. They're the same thing on the other side. But focusing on this, again, the lack of accountability. The lack of accountability. What can we do about it? People are having conversations. Part of it is I have to point out, it is a psychological operation. It is divide and conquer. It is, again, men versus women. But also, this is a contagion that it's a good time to hit the glow ops and break it, because it's losing control. It's losing control. And now the opportunity is, like I said, when it came to the scamdemic, we see who these people are, how they operate, what are their values, and what can we do with the opposite. We know who we can deal with, who we cannot operate. If you're a man, you shouldn't be associating with people that have these values at all, in the minimum. It is dangerous. I don't even need to tell you at what a capacity, let alone, but like, oh, this is your girl. It's and you and also what is tragic, if you talk with women, you know that going deep enough, people haven't broken to accept this. And again, this is the culture of lack of accountability. So we're up at bat. The solution to it is to take control, take a harsh audit of who we are with, who we work with, where we're putting our time and our effort on. Because, like I said earlier, this is a symptom of cancer. The people look at the statistics. People talk about the slavery, that the Holocaust, even me, like the victims of communism. The Western woman, which is generally white women, the number of children killed in abortion alone. Hitler, Hadrian, Genghis Khan, nothing. Nothing compares to that. The CIA is doing backflips. Isn't that crazy? Let me stop it right here, and then I continue. I'm going to stop. Continuing. Oh yeah, the CIA is doing backflips, but it exposed their weaknesses. Their whole point is to destabilize, create divide and conquer, create friction. Through this friction, we who have the light, that we can look clearly and directly at things, now we can identify who is with us. Forget who is against you, who is with you, your values, what is the goal. It's very important not to focus on just the negative. I know I talk about fear, I promote the fear transmutation, but remember the context of fear transmutation is not to be led by what you are scared of, but to take to what I mean about focusing is that we focus on the objective of what we want. Our minds will create the solutions will try to solve the problem, to be creative, to create the solutions for what we're looking for. So that's why you don't just focus on the negative. I'm not being all this woo-woo, uh, how people say, don't think about the negative, bro, or you're just gonna manifest it. I'm being very specific and nuanced of what I'm saying. You have your values. That's the fire inside. That's the inner light. That's the divine spark. You're focusing on that. And even when you're whatever fear is, it's a response still to that. It's not a fear against it where you're running away, if that makes any sense. Um, Also, another thing I think is important to point out, and this is the difficult conversation of it, is the evil women. And the fact that AI will easily just slash you. She said evil women. Women are the holy people. They can't be criticized. And that is the problem. That is the danger. Any person, any individual that thinks like this is a predator. Because, again, unless you're incredibly naive and just repeating talking points like we're saying, narratives, you can't create just a power vacuum for just a woman to take over. Because, again, you're going to create situations for La Madrina to come up, for the most violent psychopathic woman to take over. Yeah, this is where I want to take over. Like I said in the previous videos, like what type of woman wants to come in and be police officer? Or like I said, the issue in Dominican Republic. In Dominican Republic, there's so much progress. We love women so much now that women dominate the courts. They're all over political positions. You can see them every position of they work in every area except hard labor. And now they're in the police, they're in the military. And before, it was really hard and no one would touch a woman. Now women getting equal opportunity beatings. They drag them by the hair, they shoot them, they throw them in a ditch. If you get a female cop, the Sam High joke, you are getting shot. And more so in a third world country. She will escalate like this. If regular cops are insecure and escalate violence, imagine the individual I'm talking about. So, to not drift off, it's like, can say like, I have a daughter. And my biggest fear is the evil women come in, they the way they destroy. And the way they destroy is not physical. They use other people as proxies. They use whispers. They use narrative controls. Really good at the psyops and using algorithms and things like that. And you see how like the mean girl effect, I guess that would be a simplification of putting it. If you ever seen Mean Girls, you'll have like, let's say a group of girls, they'll pretend to be friends, but they're also fighting amongst each other. And this mean girl effect has tragically infected corporations. And that's corporate America. That is the culture of corporate America. And that's why you see how in corporations, you don't see men working in an office anymore. And the men who do need to bend to these scenarios, these conditions. And you see how everything is this very nice language and passive aggressive. And we got to do a meeting. And what about this? What about her feelings? And you didn't say that correctly. And everyone has is basically at a warfare in this little microorganism. Like think about like the toxic HR people. Obviously there's people in HR who likely do their job correctly, but it's got such a bad rep at this point because of the type of culture I'm trying to define, that you see the HR person is fighting a war here in their work zone. What they got going on with Julie, this lady said this thing, how can I get better with my boss? And this is a world this small, just their office. And so everything else all around them. Stressed out day and night over this small world. And I guess I want to divide this because I wanted to make a video specific about this subject, but I kind of lost track of it. But I guess now that it came to my mind as I'm flowing here. And why I'm talking about like the bad woman and why I want my daughter to worry. Well, not worry, sorry, that's not the right word, but be aware of the evil women and how they operate and how they want her, who is a good child, who who is kind, who likes to share, who is truthful, who is honest, who enjoys nature, who is artistic, who loves her family, you know, just good values to be. They transform you slowly by trying to get you to fit in with little social pressures to accept basically the way of the devil. I mean, look at how the modern woman is in every manosphere video. You know, they'll come in. How much money is he? The 666, right? How much money does he make? Where does he work? How tall is he? The six pack, all of that. A waste of time completely, right? Um, and then we're not teaching girls, and this is really sad that you're like, yo, where are the women? And that's my point. The good women are not stepping up into their authority. It's a solution right here. Good women have to step up. We need to teach girls to identify good values. What is a good person? What defines a good person is from, like we tell them, it may be cliche, from the heart. Are they a good person? We don't, they're not even asking, hey, I met this guy. Is he a good person? No. How much money does he make? And in today's world, to max out money, you need to be high on the psychopathic spectrum, high on the willing to take advantage of others, high on the willing to step over others. And that's why you see women who just like they want celebrities, scammers, all these things. Or they'll go into this stuff about, oh, he needs to make six figures and all this stuff. And ironically, let's say, for example, a plumber, plumbers, people in HVAC, things like that. These guys make serious money. Electricians, they make serious money. They live very comfortable. And if they're smart, they do investments, all that. And the women who are programmed through the college system, they look at a plumber and be like, he is beneath me because I have a PhD, like the Kevin Samuels thing. I have a PhD. I make more money than him. She's probably in debt, doesn't make enough money like him. She's a slave at this office, at this war that I just described, where this guy, he goes in, he does his work, he takes his vacation, he got his savings. No, but they see them as lesser. Or again, what makes a person good? What are their works? What is their relationship with their family? How do they interact with nature? How do they interact with animals? How are they with their neighbors? Did I say that? No, how much money does he make? And that's the same thing with, like, people think they're just good because I donated to charity. What about, are those your works? Right? Not against charity. I'm saying this just like, oh, just money is a solution. Money is the center of value. I mean, look at how they're measuring people today by their credit score, not by their works, by their credit score. And what isn't usually seen as was. I'm not against loaning money, right? Loaning money, banking is an important technology system that we created, but the usury, the predatory loaning made by these people and people who think like that, like, that's destructive, that's chaotic, that is the evil that people in ancient societies try to define. So again, it seems like I drifted off because I've tried to highlight the evil women, and I went into usury. But the point is, if you're not grounded with what are your values, right? How are you going to be able to relate to people, step up the plate, deal with things responsibly, take actions, and actions even when if you're at the no, I'm glad I'm alone here. If you vote, nigga, you might as well be. You're at that level almost. You still believe in this guy? Yeah. And then you believe in Sleepy Joe walking like the Tesla bot, eh? Sleepy Joe, Sleepy Joe. Remember he fell off the bike? That was so sad. He fell off the bike. Poor Sleepy Joe. He had him like that. He gets on the bike. Isn't he like almost 90 years old? Sad. Abusing of Sleepy Joe. Is he even real? I I I think there's doubles, there's clones, there's CGI, there's uh there's generative AI videos, all of it. Joe Biden. Who knows? Will the real Joe Biden please put together the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics? Oh, geez, remember that one. But yeah, guys, we need to be grounded. Jokes aside, now we need to be grounded in our values. We need to know the difference between right and wrong. That is a story of like the burden, the fire that Prometheus took from the gods, or you know, Adam and Eve deciding to eat from the apple. The burden. It's there. We have to deal with these people, or our children are going to suffer the consequences. And then we are going to be bitching the same way. Man, the boomers gave us nothing. But you know what, man? At least I don't have to feel so bad personally. And a lot of you other millennials and things like that, or even if you're older or younger, whatever, if you're just not going with it, that's enough. The people who didn't put on the mask, who didn't didn't do the vax, like right here, no mask. You didn't do lockdown, none of that. I told you they used to have around me 12 p.m. lockdown. I'm doing whatever I want. I don't care. I kept living how I wanted every day. So when freedom is outlawed, only outlaws will be free. And that is true sovereignty. You need to understand that this so-called civilization is a scam. It's a scam, Dutch. But they don't want people like us no more. um, so let's look at what we have. Let's try to live by our values. Measure people by the content of their character, by the qualities of their works. Not but how much money did you have? What job are you? I can't wait to look. Here's another prediction. One of my best predictions was during COVID when I said at the peak of it, lockdowns, everything, the pressure. I said when this disappears, people are going to pretend it never happened, and the people who are the most avidly zealous about it, they're gonna act like it never happened. It's gonna disappear like this. We're already there, right? Fauci, number one guy. I don't know. I never did it. But you told everybody to get vaxxed. Wasn't me. But you told them to get a mask. Wasn't me. But you told them you can't get ass. Wasn't me. Unless they got vaxxed. Wasn't me. Put it all on your shoulder. Wasn't me. All right. All right. We have to build our own systems. Now work with them. Live by righteousness. And we're winning, guys. We just have to stay stable. Let these they're gonna the is gonna continue. We will see retardations beyond our wildest imagination. And I leave it with that, guys. So let me know what you think. Harold here, Harold. To conclude, I realized, so I just did some research, that YouTube treats shorts in long form differently. I've been trying to bridge the gaps. So please, guys, like, subscribe, comment. Let's help the channel grow the message. Stop giving your attention to fakers like, the people promoting left, right, politics, that the women, the men, high quality this, the hoes, but. Guys, let's get stuff going. Stop it with that. Let's get paid. Real money. And what I mean about real money is not this paper stuff. Real money. All right, guys. Have a good one. Os.